It's the mid-80s. I've been listening to music like AC/DC and Metallica and Iron Maiden. I've been going to church, 2 churches. Protestant, alternating between Protestant and Church of Latter-day Saints churches each week till about the age of 13. I found there wasn't a spirituality there that suited me. I felt something in the forests. I felt a spiritual connection that was more personal. I was listening to metal. I came across this. As I was listening to this, I realised there's something else going on here. I can feel something else, a presence in the forest. There's something else going on here. I'm in touch with something that I never knew that belonged. You could call it animism, you could call it whatever. Early paganism, in touch with Gaia, Pan, whatever. It's just like, I just felt a real connection with nature, a spiritual connection, a personal connection, one that I felt stronger than going to a church full of people. Having said that, I felt like those 13 years alternating between the 2 churches brought me up to be a very polite person, treat people I like to be treated myself, and so forth. So about the age of 13, I had a lot of misfortune in my life. I had a really bad bike accident where it nearly ripped my lip off entirely. I had one of these old 10-speed bikes with the gears in the middle there. I went over a pothole because they didn't took care of the roads back in the day, and I lost control, and the gears went and ripped my lip off. So now I've got scarring here, and like scarring along the cheek and whatnot on my nose from bike accident. It was the age of 13. I was getting into metal, really extreme metal. I'm thinking it must have been like 86. Age of 13, grade 8. So I was listening to AC/DC, Metallica, Iron Maiden. I was enjoying that, man. And all those kind of bands. And then one day, so, oh, look at that, Eddie. So iconic. And RIP to the original vocalist of the group. The first 2 albums are incredible. Up to it, I suppose. I could go a lot more in depth or something, but I just go like. So, perhaps later on that year, I go to a friend's place, and we're into all this. We're discovering all this extreme metal. And he's going like. I've got this band where every single song they sing about is Satan. And I'll pick up the album covers and go, you're not wrong. Hell, you're not wrong, man. It was Venom. Oh, the first ever black metal band. Who I adore very much. Still to this day, one of the greatest. Venom and Bathory for me. I don't know, what should we play by? We should go. Well, this is always good to play this. The original version of black metal, or any original pressing, it's always very interesting to listen to. That was terrible. Let's do it again. What the fuck? I jumped. You're making me nervous. Like, making everything just wrong. I believe that's a chainsaw. The beginning of the intro. So I love the way as soon as the needle hits the groove, straight away the early pressings. So the original neat, and also the Burnett pressings in France too. Maybe some other ones. Yeah. So yeah, very very iconic, of course, man. Hence they came up with them. They coined the term black metal. It was. I mean, a lot of it was very passionate, about the darkness, LaVeyism and whatnot, and Satanic Bible and Crowley and all that kind of stuff. So the first wave black metal discovered so many great bands. Listened to a radio show on FM. So I discovered, piecing all together, matching the names. A lot of time you wouldn't even catch who the hell he was playing. You'd hear something, go, that was cool, and then you'd be like a commentary every 4 or 5 songs or something, or you might be out of the room. A lot of time you used to tape it and listen back later at night, especially because it used to go late. And anyway, so I was introduced to Venom. And sort of everyone knew about Slayer and all those kind of big bands around that time. But there was one band in particular, I guess I sort of discovered myself. And I'd actually heard a lot of stuff from the first 2 albums, but hadn't realised who it was. Probably because, again, like the commentary and like the way I was recording it back in the day, the fuzzy sound you had on the radio. But this was the band that's like changed everything for me. And it wasn't until the 3rd album that must have come out in 1987. And I won't play all of the intro, but some of it. So you can see the build up. So I'd say this is the first band that I'd say I discovered myself. Personally, no one introduced this band to me. I just heard it on the radio a couple of times more, and the voice is like, when I heard it in the first 2 albums, and then again in this, it's like it wasn't human. This wasn't music anymore. This was a portal to another dimension. The things that did to my mind and my mental landscapes, and I guess my perhaps maladaptive daydreaming or maladaptive day nightmare dreaming, whatever you want to call it, and the visions I would have. What's wrong? Cookers. It's a very hot night. Whoa. Here we go. Goes out into a bliss of a massacre. Just the first time I heard that was I was staying at a friend's place. It was on radio, and we were just going to sleep. Turned the lights off and went to bed. Okay, yeah, and just left the tape. Luckily, we left the tape going. I think recording it. We always did every time we record these radio shows. And then they came on, and as soon as the intro, Nocturnal Obeisance, went into Massacre, it's like, what the frig? And the lights went on. It's like, holy crap, what is this? And they said who it was, and the realization of that band, the previous stuff I'd heard before, was like, oh my God. Oh, you tapped into something that I could not comprehend, like just into this pure darkness, because I think all my life I've gone through a lot, like a lot of people, a lot of traumatic stuff, and this kind of stuff is salvation for me. It's something just where I can just lose my mind in it, or just it's just some way just to get away from fucking mankind and all the shit they do, and just go, evil is here. Evil is in mankind. That's fucking evil, man. Who cares about afterlife? Evil is done by deeds, and there's many an evil deed done by mankind all the time. Hell is on earth. Many, as with heaven, you can't have one without the other. So, but this kind of music really appealed to me. That level of darkness and execution. even to this is the battery material, and Venom too. Battery and Venom, it's like they're straight off the bat. Those guys just had just the aesthetics, the whole, you know, the ideology, all the history behind it, all the stuff they were inspired by and loved and passionate about, and you know the riff, the guitar, the drumming, everything. Anyway, so look at this, right? It's got a little bit of natural, always right, age spotting, and I'll tell you why. Because I'll tell you, it's got a lot to do with the inks and everything that's been on this particular pressing. And those kind of heavy inks will interact with the air and whatnot, and that kind of age spotting is going to happen no matter. This is not even my first copy. The first copy got lost, and somebody had to replace it. They lost on the bus or something. So this is a better copy than the one I had. It was already pretty well worn, but I'm sure, you know, the age spotting would have happened pretty much the same with the insert. Anyway, so this Elizabeth battery here is the ages. This is wrong here. It's 1560 to 1614. It's always been wrong. If I was to say what the most evil album ever recorded was, I have to say it's this by Battery. It's not the most satanic album. The most satanic for me would be Coven's first album, because it's just full of, side 2 is a black mass anyway, and side 1 is just full of just anti-Christian, just Satanism throughout, you know. But with Battery, it's beyond that. It's devoid of religion, you know. Forget all that crap. This is about the essence of evil itself, the atmosphere, the essence. Just, I mean, it's one of the coldest, darkest, and the kind of stuff it sings about is sort of devoid of all that kind of stuff, which, you know, already paves the way for the sort of Viking approach that he was going for later. But this, you know, this in my opinion, just lyrically, the atmosphere, everything, not trying to be anything. It's very much Venom-esque, but it's Battery's way. It's like no one else was doing, you know, at the time. His voice is utterly chilling. The guitar tone. Fucking cute. It's very dark in it. Blood-curdling. It's just funny, you know, this album, like, recorded 40 years ago, and I think of how many albums have been as evil as this. I'm sorry, you failed. You fucked up. Get them up. I didn't. None of us did. This is black metal. Gosh, forget all the political crap, okay? It's about the essence, the feeling, the execution. It's about the atmosphere, the aura. It's about opening up the pores of your mind in the mental landscapes and the feeling and atmosphere and the vibe. That has been lost for so many fucking years in black metal. I just recorded it. Do you want to meet the Dojers? This is Cookie, and she is a schnoodle. Is that right? A schnoodle. We think she's a schnoodle. It's a cross between a schnauzer and a poodle. Hence how scruffy her fur is. But her fur is, it's not dry. It's quite juicy, sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah. This one lying down here, this one is Dakota. Siberian Husky, the eldest. This idiot here, too hot. This is Banshee. Oh, she's beautiful. She's the daughter of these two. That's the mother. This is the father. This is Fenrir. Fenris. Or just Fenny. These are the 4 Husketeers. Correction, the 3 Husketeers plus 1. As I said before, it was like, I was already a big fan of Dark Throne. Yeah, Soulside Journey. I thought it was a great death metal album. The execution, the riffs, the great drumming that Fenris had. He was massively, into Rush and progressive drumming and very technical drumming, and he really showed it back then. As with Goatlord, he's really refrained from what he can do, even though he has the potential to do amazing stuff. So it was Catharian Life Code. This is where I got the name from. I used the same font. That's right. I used the same font. Holy crap. Look at it, see? Catharia. But I didn't take it from, say, where they took it from. I'm not sure what it means to them. I mean, when you think of the Cathars, it was like an alternative part of Christianity back in the day where they didn't believe in Jesus Christ or whatever, but they did believe in an afterlife, heaven, and mostly hell on earth type of arrangement. So I'm not sure referring to the Cathar sect, or whatever. But anyway, when I saw that, I thought, Catharia. It's a great name for a band, and the font and everything. So that's why I called that. But it also got me onto, the word catharsis and what that meant. So it was more like sort of catharsis, Catharia, or, anything. Anyway, so but that's where I originally got the name from. And this is one of the albums that came out of the second wave. You had the first Mayhem, Death Crush, you had first Burzum, and early Immortal, and stuff like that. But when this came out, well, it was sort of like what I was really into, but there was some stuff I was into in between, as with a lot of people, death metal and grindcore, which we can talk about another time maybe. But this is the second wave, and this is very much sort of like the vibe of Under the Sun of the Black Mark by Bathory. That very much the same kind of intro and that blitz into the black metal. Here we have Dark Throne blitz into a very much Bathory-esque, Hellhammer, Venom, Celtic Cross-esque. There's nothing really being done in between those times. And Fenris is going off into some amazing quadruplets and triplets with his drumming. And so he's showcasing some of the drumming he did with Soulside and his transition between death and black metal. He said he was trying to crush the riff with his style drumming, make it as black metal as possible, which he certainly did. This has always been a fan favourite. It's hard to say the so-called Unholy Trilogy. What's the greatest of that Unholy? It depends what mood you're in. All three of those albums are fantastic, whether it's the produced ones like this and Under Funeral Moon probably is a great, actually. I'll tell you, it's the blackest, the coldest, most evil, pinpointed, that is. But this is not far off it, as with Transparent Hunger, if you want a very dry, lo-fi, very natural, organic approach to it. Very honest, I mean, very sincere. What does it say on it? Black. Can you see it? Make sure you can see it. So is there too much reflection? So the original pressing, black fucking metal. What it says on there. What's it say on side 2? The re-return. You know, like that, the re-return. Okay, fair enough. Sort of is. I'm going to be spontaneous with this. You know, sort of with Prague. Let's not worry about the man himself, the politics or whatever behind him. Let's just go on his art, which is magnificent, of course, as with Theodore Kittelson. This is one of the finest black metal albums ever to come out of Norway. The most just anguish, full of pain, anguish, atmosphere. It's so hypnotic, trance-like, repetitive. It's wonderful. Ends with a great ambient track. And this is original pressing too. It's a masterpiece. I mean, there's things about... I don't know, let's not talk... I should not talk about the man. Although, there's some things I've heard him say that I agree with, others I don't. So it probably would make sense to play the first album because it's his earliest, of course, and we talk about the second wave. And what was the first, what was the stuff that came out first? It was the first Burzum, first Dark Throne, well, the EP by Mayhem came out in 87, but it was still also rooted in thrash and grindcore, and there was all of the live stuff that were, of course, they're working on the underground. That's the sort of cult they were known for. So I guess a couple of bands that appealed to me as being a solo artist and being a drummer and passionate about playing fast, bands and albums. Tracks like this, I can't see where the groove is. What? It's on double speed, fuck. Whoa. I need to see, I can't see it. This is on the wrong side of the light. It's supposed to be over there. The idea of having a black metal song as a blast, like some Napalm Death, but going for ages and ages and ages. I like that. So I wanted to incorporate that with Kafari. I just wanted relentless blasting. And the reason why it had to be finger blasts, which I did not mention before, is because the original apartment that I was renting, I set up my drums with the intention of using real drums, and then next thing we heard was like a broom handler going bang, bang, bang on the top floor. I was like, fuck, that's a no-go, man. Okay, so I had to resort to using finger drums because I wanted to record a black metal. I don't know what to play. They were so good. The fucking titles, man. I'm gonna play this because I like the song. Okay, so obviously what we played before I did not say. I'm pretty sure you knew who it was. If you're into black metal, you must know it was Mayhem. Yes. And I've met Attila a couple of times. He's great. You know, I love the way he thinks. I feel like, I mean, I'm not sure what he thinks of me, but he's very unique. I like people who are different and unique, and I just feel like, you know, that's cool. I'll tell you a funny story about him. So when I did a show with Sun about 10 years ago at the Odeon, I opened up with a side project called Veil of Darkness. And so I performed that, and Earth was playing as well. And they're great guys too. It was a great night, wonderful night. Sun, Earth, Veil of Darkness at the Odeon about 10 years ago, Dark Mofo. And so I finished up, and then Earth were on before Sun. And then I remember just talking to Attila when he awoke. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I was asleep. I missed your show." I was like, "Oh, okay. It's Attila, it doesn't matter." Anyway, so the next night, I'm performing at like a FOMO thing, a very intimate show. You know, it's like a TV setup, an old TV setup. They had Nosferatu playing in the background. That was fantastic. Converted so you could play DVD into this old tubular TV from the 50s or something, and it looked great just in the background, some chairs, and you know, it ended up being sort of interactive, and a bottle of wine and just share around, and Tiddler was there most of the night checking out, hanging out. So anyway, so another band that really inspired me, this kind of speedy stuff, because I was a drummer in a black and death metal doom band anyway. So another band, of course, for me at the time around that, you know, one of the earliest bands, even though this is I'm playing his second album, my favorite act is actually the first album, because it's so Bathory-esque and so atmospheric, and I love the acoustic guitaring, and you know, just they take their time to execute it. It may not be the immortal we all know and love, but it's, I don't know, something about the first one I do love. But there's a little spider. It's not very well, but that's actually not one of the fastest songs. That's actually that's a great title, but if you want to hear something that's just straight into it, let's hear it, because it's got such a great cold guitar tone. It's sort of like you know, Under Finger Moon on 45. Just, just go from Starfucker. That's the first chapter for this. We'll go into another chapter either next YouTube post or down the track or something. Jump back and forth and feature more you know, bands from other countries, and just more of, we'll go more in depth.
Can I ask you a question that we've got in the comments?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, because there was yes, I'm sorry I haven't answered back to anyone. I'm not quite sure how to go about this YouTube channel. I'm new to this. Maybe if I have some time I can sit down and answer back to some of them, or I can address some of a request time and time in like a feature of like a post right now. Okay, so what? Shoot. What is what?
Tell us about the origins of your pseudonym.
What? Oh, just Sinana? Well, I haven't got it on me Google Fresh and I haven't prepared anything, but originally I got it out of a very not very comprehensive book, just on gods and demons or something, and it had so just a pseudonym, not the band name. It was just like Sin-Nana. It just said Babylonian god of the moon or something like that. It's like, okay, anything else? Not really. But anyway, it's Sumerian moon god and more of, and the hyphen, it's a moon god. Nana mean moon. Sin or Nana, you can use either. And so, but I could have gone into great depth. Anyone can Google it up. But I like the name of that more than, Stryborg. I like the meaning, the sound and everything, and I like the fact that I've used the hyphen, Sinana, even though you can use either. It's pertaining to the moon god anyway, Sumerian moon god, either. And in my post I might alternate between, so play on words with the word Nana or Sin, and always be Sin Nana in Stryborg, but on my post I like to play around with those two words, and it's kind of fascinating. And yeah, I just went from Catharia to Stryborg name change in 1987. 1997, fuck me, not 87, are you kidding me? Yeah. And the keywords here was like winter and moon. And that's why I called the first demo with the name chain called Winter Moon. I thought, that's cool. Stryborg Sin-Nana called Winter Moon. Cool. Nice.